right. Part 2. There you go. So the other boaters live right here in your own little slips. Right here underneath the Marina Towers. Like that, huh?
Now he believes there are no right angles in nature, so there shouldn't be right angles in architecture.
Pretty cool. There's Whirlpool.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about that philosophy of architecture further down the top.
The only remaining warehouse building left down here. Used to be warehouses like this all along here. Of course, the Mercantile building coming up is the most famous one, but there are warehouses like this all along this river. It didn't look like this. It was very dirty, very filthy and polluted. A lot of heavy work going on, and you wouldn't believe what this was like. If that iron bridge right there could talk, really something. About to come up on the Mercantile building. Marshall Field's largest building in the world at one time. You see here where they used to unload the ships. They can still get the bollards and the cleats there along the edge. The ships would come right in here, tie up, and unload through these doors. Right into the department stores. Look at all the huge bronze busts that are up here. I don't know who they are. I don't see any presidents. A little bit of flowage coming out there. 3 million square feet. 3 million squares. Later owned by Joseph Kennedy, the father, and his organization, and the Kennedy family sold it in the middle 90s for a whole lot of money. You can rent me right there. $575 million. No, I ain't gonna rent that. Pretty cool. Be right back. Okay, we're at Wolf Point. Turn here and go down the Chicago River here to the right. We'll turn around here at a bridge and we'll go down past the Willis Tower that's on the left. Pretty cool. Take a look where we've been.
Yes, stinky onions. That's what it means. Because of all the onions
like that there.
used to grow along the banks of the river here. Yeah. Yes, it also translates to loosely the city of strong smells.
There's a yoga class.
Pumps up fresh river water.
Hey yoga, hey yoga, hey yoga, yoga. She's gonna do it. She's gonna yoga. Pretty cool. Here's one of the railroad bridges that they have up. Like the other ones that we've crossed earlier today. This is what they look like when they're up. Sort of. This is a railroad bridge. You can see the huge cement counterweight here near the back. Pretty cool.
This is the first railroad bridge to cross the Chicago River. Been sitting in this position since recently for dairy products, and it was renovated in the 80s by Harry Weiss. Look at the top tree of the building, block out the sun. See those nautical
Kinsey Street Bridge.
That's what the city of we like to add nautical things. When he renovated this,
looking at downtown. Quite a gatehouse.
portholes, winding staircases,
Old Chicago, baby. Now, this is the North Branch, of course, of the Chicago River. They have some newer condos built back here, okay, and so forth. He was mentioning a minute ago about prices here and efficiency. A one room with a kitchenette, $299,000, and they go up. get down here in the other buildings, some of these apartments and condos and so forth, down when we get on the main channel, go for $1 million a year for rent. Many of them $400,000 a year for rent. Yep. The old bridge right next to multi-$100,000 property on up. Just think what the penthouse would cost up here or up there. And these are lesser properties. These aren't even the most expensive properties.
Greg, notice how this whole section has no idea what
Very nice. One of the old water towers over here. They used to sit on top of the old buildings. You'll see it for fire fighting. Many of the old buildings here in Chicago had these old water towers on top of them, top of the buildings. Let's see if you can see it. Right there she is, right there. All right. Turn around here in a minute. A lot of new construction going on down here at this end, and we'll be turning around. And again, the higher up you go, the higher the price. This building here was an old warehouse. They completely renovated. Look at the deco. My gosh. You can see down here where the ships would tie up along here. See the bumper rails along here, the big timbers, and all the open spaces here where they would unload the ship. And again down here. Look at all this beautiful Art Deco work. They saved it. And again right here, all the way down. The big ships would come in here all the way from Lake Michigan, past all those iron bridges. They'd have to raise them. Come down here and tie up and unload your cargo. Both sides of the river, all the way down. Now, these are offices and condos and restaurants. Down here's where the penthouse is. Just beautiful. Okay, now you're getting down over into more of the west side of Chicago, northwest side. See how they're making this big steel cofferdam wall? They're bracing back the river, the Chicago River. Look at the yachts down here. They weren't there a few years ago. Another old factory building there, renovating. Here's the new Chicago Tribune. They moved from downtown out here. And then everything down here is going to be new. Be right back. Okay, we're crossing under Chicago Avenue. All this construction that you see going on here is the new casino. And it's a lot of it. They took an awful lot of ground out here and raised old buildings, old factories, as far as you can see, right next to the Chicago Tribune. This is all going to be a big new casino. 3 or 4 years. Willis Tower is up ahead. This little tugboat right here pushes this big barge. These pillars that you see, they slam down into the ground and hold it in place. They're like anchors. That tug pushes it. You can see here along here, this is where another manufacturer used to be years ago. If you've heard of Woolworth, well, this is where they were, one of them. You can see the ships would pull right up here and unload. But that's all gone. All of those places are gone. Again, you can see over on the distance one of the old wood water towers on top of the building. Okay? Pretty cool. Salvation Army.
Now this is a nursery rhyme.
Here's another one of the little rafts, shoot downs right there. Actually, it's a barge, a work barge. Here's old pilings that have rotted away. Over there as well. Remember, ships used to dock right here, just like I mentioned before. Look at this old sluiceway for the water up above, the rainwater, and the old glass block windows all broke out right next to $1 million properties. And I'm not kidding you. If you have $1 million or a little more than that, you got a place right here.
Which New Yorkers love to tell me in the middle.
And of course, in the day, it offloads ships here. Again, you can see the bumpers. They're called fenders here against the cement, against the quay, I think it's called. Another water point there. Runoff runs into the river. Boy, look at, they have trees on the roof, flowers on the roof up in their penthouses.
Now, Daniel Burnham, the bandit here.
Very nice. All right. Look at the old tires. There's an old Chicago white wall right there. Look at that one. Got that off Rush Street. No wake. It's all right. I am awake. There's another sluiceway right here. You crawl up that, you go into their sewers. The sewers of Chicago. Right next to $1 million properties. I like that. The old docks there. Now here, a road, an iron road came out this far. Probably went straight across, and it is a railroad bridge. They took it out years ago. Look at there. Isn't that cool? Right, so out here, have a little delight. And here we go.
Half the population of the country has circulated through Chicago over 6 months.
Pretty cool.
28 million Americans.
Okay, we're coming around here on Wolf Point again. The sun should be working with us pretty well this afternoon as we go down this way towards the Willis Tower.
If you want to learn more about this fair, I recommend the Chromes. You're a fan of vintage homes? You're a fan of
Look at the old building back here. It's been renovated. The brick building. Here's the one that's 20 feet wide. You can see. Look at that. Very, very tall building. But it goes down very heavy. With a 20-foot wide base. I think it's even less than that. They may tell us here in a second. Crossing Lake Street, under Lake Street, you can see the L right there, the elevated train line. Runs above. And you can walk Lake Street, drive it, and get away.
Now this whole plot of land has been vacant for
Look at that. Randolph Street coming up. There's another tour boat. That's a wide one. Here's Boeing. Heard of Boeing aircraft? Well, there's Boeing. Flying high up into the sky. There's their tower here in Chicago. This is the Opera House. I believe it's the Opera House. It may not be. The Opera House may be behind me. I think that it be. One thing's for sure. This is Art Deco. That I know. Look at where they used to unload the ships along here. They blocked in all of these ways right here. Right? Riverside Plaza. Pretty cool. All the way down, you can see again where the ships would come up here. All these iron bridges would have to raise, coming up on Monroe Street. And the ships would dock right here. As I said before, to unload, you can see all the fenders protecting the bridge abutments. All right, right back.
These next 4 buildings along the right side of the boat, remember the giant black box I was
There's the Willis Tower.
same minimalism for the next 3 buildings.
Pass it in
Now,
just a
he
second.
he did not design these buildings, but he did the Art Deco, and then Mies van der Rohe comes along, flips it on its head.
University of
Function
Illinois.
over form, stripping that all that character down to its functional aesthetics.
There's the Willis
And
Tower.
this creates icons from all
How do you
over
like
the world,
that?
including Bangladesh architect Dr. Fazlur
Fantastic.
Rahman Khan. He's engineered most of the major landmarks in their city. A great example of his work is this small black box with X-braces on it. See this?
Jackson
Very similar to the
Boulevard.
John Hancock Tower. Here, though, he was asked to design 2 trading floors without pillars inside, so it wouldn't block hand signals to commodity brokers. So he puts X-braces there, so all the weight gets put on
The old
outside
bridge
of the
houses. There's the Willis Tower. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful building. I have a little bit better view of it down here.
Gateway 4.
Be right
Notice
back.
the building goes straight into
The side of this building is
Chicago
a
River. You see that red pin
map
back there? That's a "You Are Here" pin.
of the river.
We're currently at on the Chicago River.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Now to your right, you can see the former main Chicago.
Here's Walgreens, PepsiCo. Used to be the post office of Chicago. Now it's been repurposed. Congress
They
Parkway
decommissioned the entire building.
and the Willis Tower.
The early 2000s rolled by.
The Sears Tower.
Building
I always knew it
for
was the
about
Sears
20
Tower.
million. The issue is, he did not realize
Used to be
that he
the
was
tallest
buying a
building in the world.
If you didn't get a check, but it did. If you know anything about
Now it's
landmark
the,
status, it's wildly
tallest
expensive to renovate, and if you bought a
in the
post
city of
office,
Chicago.
it's gotta stay a post
The
office.
Trump Tower
So
being
if
the
he bought a
second.
building he could not afford to touch. So it
Back
just
over
sat
here.
there for like 15 years. And Chicago kept threatening to
Yeah.
take it back. You don't hang it, they weren't going to touch it. You know what's kind of funny?
There you can see the old
8 years
factory
after
buildings
they
nestled
took
in
that post office,
to the skyscrapers and the newer builds. These are all residential.
Now, hi guys. No, it's not anymore. Now make sure we're picking up all our backpacks here, folks. We're getting a little crowded here. This is, what's that?
Very cool.
You are.
Starting to get pretty windy.
Oh, yeah.
Here's some very new architecture. Kind of reminds me of the places in Star Wars out there. Hey?
It's the same architect.
Oh, look, River City. Yeah. Look, he's got his little.
It's supposed to be a 4-phase design. This was supposed to snake up the railroad 3 more times.
Right there.
Due to the density of the building, density that is one thing swimming pool, gym, parking garage.
Icon Theater. Very interesting.
Enter
All the
during-
newer
during
skyscrapers
during
over
the-
here for mostly residential, building out to Lake Michigan.
Yeah. Now, people like
Them up on top here, a huge boom hanging.
Which makes
They're
sense.
working on cleaning the windows from above there.
Well, this is where the Grand Central Railroad Station used to stretch down.
Isn't that
Right, they all
something? This
used
is
to
all
stretch
Grand
down
Central
this
right here.
direction. And then
This is the Grand Central Railroad Station that used to be right here. This big acres right here.
And move them
Been
to the
raised.
west side of the river. As you can all see to your right, that's where they're all located now.
They moved this all over to the other side of the river.
Was that? No, not anymore. Now this
This is going to be developed. It's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
They were talking about a whole
Plus. Unbelievable what this land is worth right here. You see it here first. Easily $1 billion. Easily.
And we've already gridded this out. Huge development contracts have been put here. By
Yeah.
2050, it'll be Chicago's next great
Next great neighborhood right here.
Chicago is going to put the Tech Hub campus on the southern portion of this. Bars, restaurants, and nightlife all
Wow.
along the river walk here.
Another bridge. Wait till you see the other side of it here in a minute. And 15 or 20 years, this right here you won't recognize. It will look like the rest of it right there.
This one has been, since about
They have it all planned. Have a ghost sign over here.
the catalog hub of the country, and also the rail yard hub of the country.
Continental Paper Grinding Company.
Which I'll talk about, the direct access to the southern states. We're also connected to the south. And then we use a more efficient system to ship the boat. We also have a little heat packing as well. Because of our ability to ship constantly.
Really something. These are all the rail yards over here. Now on this side, we can't see them because they're low, but that's where they moved them. Okay? Here's the 18th Street Bridge.
And the strengthening of the EPA.
Bridge graffiti. Over here too, really nice. Oh, park.
You were in the old China ground.
Now he's going to turn around here in midstream.
This has been sponsored
He's
by
changing
Modelo,
his
because we also
horses
own the water taxes.
in the middle of the stream.
Now I'm going to take a brief pause, folks.
22 foot to 35
Feel free to
foot
take
deep.
some pictures of the skyline. It's a bridge. I just talked about. Now take some pictures. Ask.
You get a little look here under the bridge. A little bit of underneath there doing something. Wow, it's all painted up. I don't know what this is here. It's a boathouse. Little boat landing right here. Come in and paddle your boat. Like in downtown Chicago now again. Just think, within 20 years, this will be multi-million dollar places along here. Easily. This is their last hurrah, he said. No other place to expand except out here. So just think what that's going to bring. Wow. All right. Doing, Eli? Okay, you see that rail tower right there for Amtrak? Behind that is a red tower made of brick. You can't really see it. You could just get a little peek. Just next to that area is where Mrs. O'Leary's barn was, that the cow kicked over the lantern and started the Chicago fire. Right back there. At one time, this powerhouse generated the power for this end of the city, also for the whole train yard. It was the first powerhouse in the city of Chicago to transfer from coal to other fuels. It used to be a coal and it went to other fuels. Now it sits there. They said the city is going to recondition this facility. It would cost more money to tear it down than it would to renovate it and into condos, apartments, or whatever. And so that's the plan for it. In the next few years, they said it would be extremely expensive endeavor to tear that down. Back here are Marshall's, the department store, and DSW Shoes. It's their warehouses. They have a protective fence here. You don't want you seeing through there too well. And then other warehouses associated with them, the red brick building behind there. Along here, this is a water treatment plant. You can see the different filters all run along outside. And it is a high security place. You can see the fence. Almost getting back up to Wolf Point again. No wake means you can't propel a boat so fast as it causes a big wave, bow wave, or behind it, it's called a wake. This right here, this is a little bit of a wake. They don't want those waves going over and slapping against the shore and undermining all those cement walls along there containing in the Chicago River. There's BMO. Right there's the Chicago Board of Trade with that large statue up on the top.
She's the Roman goddess of agriculture.
That's Ceres, the Roman goddess of agriculture, Art Deco building.
She also
Right on top there, that has the brightest illumination light on the top right there. Very bright.
thought it was the moon.
you go.
Now I'm from Chicago.
Willis
It's called
Tower.
Willis.
It's a Sears Tower.
Pronounced Sears. In 2005,
Alright.
the Willis Group, they're an insurance
Van
company.
Buren Street.
They bought the naming rights for this building when they expired.
Coming up
Willis
on
Group
Jackson.
also insured the Titanic, so. Here,
Home to Uber.
Bundled Tubular Construction. Now, the story
Walgreens,
goes that when
PepsiCo.
Bruce Graham and Dr. Kahn were pitching their ideas for this
Really,
building,
really cool.
as a visual
What a way to
Bruce Graham
to renovate and reuse the building.
and he stuck his
The old post office,
fist.
right
Allowed
there.
each cigarette to
Chicago
stand
Post
on
Office.
the
The old one.
picture. The Sears Tower is not one tall building.
$500 million to renovate that.
Different tall buildings, or 9 different cigarettes bundled together.
Very cool.
Bundled tubular construction, bundled tubes, right? This allows the Sears Tower to have incredibly weather. Sears Tower can sway about 18 inches in every direction. The whole building
Oh,
sways.
a lot of rust up there.
To do with that, right?
Wow.
Now look up. See those 5 glass boxes up yonder? I want to wave at them. Probably taking your picture. Posting on MySpace.
You can see here where the downspouts from the road up above where the people are standing. This is where the water flows out and into the river when it rains.
They don't. Exactly.
That's their,
Unless they
that's their drain system.
Because these get added to the Sears Tower.
And we're down here low, this lower whacker right there. You can see the one of the train
You had a whole ceremony to get
that's in there right now.
The whole wedding ceremony for Jill and Jenna. They got married like 5 years ago. Which honestly, it was pretty cute. I got to go to the wedding. And I can tell all of you, the reception.
Of course, right here, this is the Opera House.
You're right. You can see the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, designed in 1973 by Pucci Ballot and Johnson.
There.
Now notice where these towers meet the trading floors here. You'll notice, if you really look, how the towers
on,
are just
Wacker.
slightly set outward. Now it's barely noticeable, but they were afraid the towers eventually were going to collapse in the 21st and the 41st. So when they're unoccupied, the towers can stand almost like parentheses.
Civic
When they're
Opera.
occupied, wait that
Well,
close
look right
center
over here.
towers together.
Right down
I think that part
to the water. See the big drains all pumping the wastewater runoff.
Home of the Lyric Opera of Chicago. Now you're going to notice the building.
Washington Boulevard.
Coming up on Washington Boulevard.
The Roman alphabet. That's why it's elite. Classical Roman style. The building, you look up, it's shaped like a giant chair. See that? It's actually nicknamed Insol's Throne. She had terrible reviews in New York, and so New York turned it.
Here's the
Look to your
building
right,
with
you
a
see a very historical
20-foot base.
It's not the Starbucks. This building
Oh,
sheathed
yeah.
in brick right here. This is the Great Lakes Building, which was the site of the Saguenay Hotel.
Abraham Lincoln was nominated to run for office right here on this property where this building is built.
All of a sudden, free stuff. just
Isn't that
showing up
something?
on my table. Now,
And again, around the corner here, Wolf Point.
and I think all of you should go there tonight. The drinks, impeccable. The vibes, pristine. When you go there tonight, I want you to look at your waiter. I want you to say, thank you. Excuse me.
Lower Wacker right there. There's the L, the elevated train.
Now notice, River Bend, building
Behind all these barriers right here are cars on the lower Wacker Boulevard. It's very dark and dingy, very dangerous down there. Not a place to go walking. Upper Wacker is where you see the ladies walking along there above.
165 feet across. It gets tinted in this greenish bluish glass, which you'll notice is the
And this is the Riverwalk.
Chicago River, which naturally has this greenish tint to it. This is a natural occurrence.
Very cool.
It's not
All little shops and places to dine.
walk all along the river, completely uninterrupted. Behind this
We just walked down here earlier.
It's called Wacker Drive. Now, how many of y'all drink on Wacker Drive before? You drink on Wacker Drive? You're like 8 though. How many of you have gotten lost on Wacker Drive before? A couple. Not the top street, that gets confusing, folks. It's the 2 streets beneath it named the same thing. Upper Wacker, Lower Wacker, and Lower Wacker. So
That's right, they do have a lower.
Google Maps can't figure it out.
Pretty
If
cool.
you get in an Uber and they take you down to the lower ladder.
Right here is where the terrible accident happened, right here.
Now, while this is confusing, it's very efficient. This is established through the Burn
Right along here.
automobile.
844 people drowned. Terrible, terrible accident.
The upper level,
Soul Cycle?
pedestrian traffic.
Wow.
The lower level,
The architecture there,
is
huh?
actually an interstate, which in the middle of a downtown area at rush hour, that can get you from Lakeshore
Window
to
washers
Pine
right
Lane
there.
through downtown at rush hour in 8 minutes.
55
Not
whack.
anywhere else. Lower Wacker is where you load and unload buildings from their
Very
base.
cool.
And we have 77 West Wacker Drive by Ricardo Bofield and James DeStefano. It's my favorite building on the river. Designed by Ricardo Bofield.
Oh, somebody's trying to
like prisons,
dock their boat.
DVDs, Russian embassies. They always look like that. To your right, the Leo Burnett Building, largest ad agency in the country.
It is too.
Column within a column behind. Straight ahead of the boat, you're going to see this green building with the gold top.
Ah,
Henry Hotel, built in 1929 by the Berman brothers. Now, back in the 20s.
wow, look at the gold.
other than the Great Depression,
Look at the gold. Unbelievable.
Prohibition, correct. And alcohol-
The building was designed during Prohibition as a giant champagne bottle.
To your right,
Isn't that crazy?
you're going to see the Jewelers Building.
This is the Jewelers Building right here. 1925.
Gorgeous. Those Kennedy Eddies in the first second.
So the jewelers, the jewelry
That
district
dome up
here.
yonder was a former speakeasy featuring
Huh?
the Transformers movie, who was Al Capone's favorite speakeasy in all of Chicago. It is no longer a speakeasy, so don't try to
Very
find it.
cool. Here's the London House.
Built
Down
in
here.
1919 and
Remember?
1921.
On that corner right there is where Fort Dearborn was built. Right up here, the corner, crossed over on the Duquesne Bridge. We got on the boat. Very, very cool. All right.
Behind it, Tribune Tower, built in 1925 by Howells and Hood. That whole structure up there,
Very
with
cool.
a giant church on top, was named
Man, some
after
nice
Chicago's
deco.
founding.
Wow, is that good art deco.
You were born in Chicago's beginning, this tends to forget his founding city. Now this is the name of it. Jean Baptiste Torquemada.
There we go. The Hyatt Regency.
Hyatt Regency Hotel. 2019 rooms.
Wow,
Now,
2019 rooms.
separate buildings joined together in an underground atrium
Wow,
and is the largest hotel in Chicago.
it's the largest hotel in Chicago right here.
Just behind it, you're going to notice a tall white building
Ah,
with black steps stretching toward the top in a second. Now, this is the, some of you might know this as the former Standard.
yeah, this is a Standard Oil building right there.
Aeon Center. This building right behind the brown building. See it? That is the fourth tallest building in the city. Aeon Center.
Fourth tallest building in the city.
That building was
Look at this puppy.
Italian
Wow.
It's actually
James Hardy Building, Swiss Hotel. Want to go to the Swiss Hotel? There it is. Lake Michigan's right up here.
Here's a blue building with a white undulating balcony in the center. Now, you're going to notice that the balcony.
Look at the way the water is cascading down the side of the building here. See this?
The building
here.
is called Aqua. It was designed in 2009 by G.
Isn't that cool?
Now, we're very proud to call G. Games Chicago because when she finished Aqua, she took the title, the tallest in the country by a female architect.
Tallest in the country by the female architect right here.
It's even
Aqua.
cooler. Since then,
Very
she
cool.
has shattered her own record.
This is the tallest building in the world
Slay Queen.
by a female architect, designed by a female
Yeah.
architect right here.
St. Regis.
Very
of
cool.
Chicago.
Very.
Now, you see that giant space at the top?
The
of
St.
floor?
Regis Hotel.
That was not in the original design. They were doing wind shearing tests on smaller models and pretty consistently.
And right out here is Lake Michigan. Here you go. You can rent your kayaks by the dozens right here.
Has another calculating system on top.
Urban Kayaks.
Look, now we're not in the, we're in the shade.
Very cool.
Right?
Taco Rio. Lots of places to eat.
Exactly. Steps up 3 times, right? Now we're getting closer to Lake Michigan.
This is the Windex
We gotta
building.
talk about the river. It's an interesting